Hello. What up? The tournament has officially started today on the 19th, so rounds 1 and 2 were today. I had Lithuania in round 1, so that was a forward hand. And then in round 2, I got to play Portugal, who was down as maybe a 4Q, but I think maybe they're a bit stronger than 4Q. So yeah, so I'm a little bit tired. The games were tough today. So the game against Lithuania, I'll try show quickly when I swap to the board, but I don't think I was ever really ahead in the game. Yeah, maybe I made some slightly bad decisions, and then I tried to keep the game complicated by offering all kinds of trades, but probably I was like minimum of 10 points behind, and then eventually ended up being like 25 or something, 24 and a half. So it's unfortunate. Also, I kind of forget after a while, I start to forget the variations, like exactly what happened in the game. But I'm pretty sure I have the end board position like mostly correct, barring the dame. So I'll show you that. But yeah, I was kind of under pressure right in the middle anyway of the game, and I have to play fast. So, but yeah, I didn't really have that much of a chance in the first game. And then the second game, I think it was even for quite a long time. I think I got maybe a little bit lucky with a variation that I had worked out, which I'll show you, which kind of gave me a nice capture in the center of the board, and then it was just a case of trying to hold the end game, which I seem to have, but probably there was, again, chances. You just have to find the right moves. But yeah, I'll show you that. So that was win against Portugal, loss against Lithuania, and then tomorrow is going to be very tough because it's a 5 down, I think, from Finland. So yeah, that's going to be another tough game. So okay, well, I'll be back in a minute to show you some games. Hello again. Once again, I recorded this earlier and forgot to turn on a microphone because apparently I have to do that every time I want to record something. So maybe I'll try to cut it a bit shorter than it was. So just want to show the games quickly from today. So round 1 was against Lithuania. This is a 4-dan, and yeah, the game didn't actually go so well in the end. So I wanted to try some kind of San Rinsei after like watching a San Rinsei game. I don't know what just happened there. Anyway, so this is kind of a Joseki, but I wanted to like approach in the bottom left first and then maybe come back to it later. I played this Kazumi because I thought it looked it's kind of trendy, but and this is a Joseki. It's just I'm not exactly sure if it works well with the Joseki in the bottom left or not, or the top left. Sorry, like where the B is at the moment, because I played A next, and at some point I feel like I need to play D18. I don't know when the right timing of that is, but at least when I talked to one of the stronger players after the game, I just kind of briefly showed it to him. He was kind of saying that there's a chance that some players will answer it because, not because it's Sente, but because it has a follow-up that's kind of Sente. So there's a chance that people will respond to D18, but yeah, it's hard to know exactly when the right time is to play. So I play on the side, and then I kind of play this attachment, but I feel like it works a lot better if there's a particular ladder that works. So I'll show you the ladder. So if I pull back and he connects, and then I try to cut the stones, then there's this ladder, and basically it runs all the way into the Kasumi stone, basically. So that's a bit unfortunate. So I tried another idea, which is to kind of close off the center. So cut here, but I kind of went maybe a little bit too far. So maybe I should have just Atari'd and extend, and then I can kind of block the center. But I kind of went down, and then this hand is a little bit annoying, so I went for like a bigger sacrifice. So I played this Atari, and then trying to connect, and then cover. And then he turns here, so that I don't get another block on the side in Sente. And then, again, maybe now's the timing that I should block here, and then if he answers, then I can play something in the center. But I guess I was kind of expecting that he will just throw a stone somewhere in the center and reduce, but at least then maybe I get some more territory on the side. So maybe that's a mistake not to block. So I've tried this to kind of maybe move the Moyo into the center a bit, and he jumps in straight away. And I think there's some kind of AI variations that I don't yet understand that I need to go over that look something like this, where you try to kind of clamp the stone and then net it in a way that you kind of still keep a wall, and it doesn't really impact the side that kind of side that much. But I'm not fully confident about those kinds of variations in the game, so I just jumped. And then I just didn't really want to keep letting him crawl on the second line. Like, I know he's not making points, but he's taking away points and effectively incente if I just keep answering. So I wanted to try play more actively by attacking the Kasumi stones. Or even if he just, played like the usual kind of kick and, something like this to like defend cuts or something. Something along these kinds of lines, like some kind of, or, kick and go down or something. Then maybe I can come back. But, okay, so he plays this press, and then I tried to play this Kasumi so I could scoop out the corner like this. But then, okay, he came back here, and then my idea was to just give up this stone and still block off some of the center, and then continue attacking. So I played this kind of pincer because I wanted to try and cut off the E7 stone. He plays this attach, which I guess is to see how I answer. And then he plays this and this. And normally, I guess you don't want to do this because you could just capture and push through and then the side gets a bit ruined. But I guess here, this seems to be okay for white. Like, white can play one more move to kind of try and kill the C7 stone. And then whatever they've lost on the top, they probably gained on the side. And since they have stones like up around here, they're probably alive anyway. So it doesn't really, it's not as big as it looks. So I tried some kind of cutting, but I couldn't read out the variations properly. So I wanted to kind of see how he answers first and then see if I could play this kind of cutting sequence. But he just like tanukis and takes the side. So he kind of is showing me that actually this is bigger than losing the top left. So at some point here I'm a bit behind, so I tried to, maybe make some points in the center, fix a kind of a cut, and then at some point I start like losing the order of moves a bit. Like this 78 I think is in the right spot, but something like this happens where I realize I'm a little bit behind on points, so I try this ko in the corner. So we play some kind of ko threats, like something like this. And then I captured the ko because I thought he couldn't really push in too far. And taking away his corner and his other corner on the bottom left, I thought maybe this was keeping the balance. But if it is, it's still me being behind. So I've probably been like at least 10 points behind the whole game. And if this is just even, then I'm still 10 points behind. So I tried some other kind of a fight here, which I'm not massively happy about. Like, apparently, if I'm going to do this, I should go up and give up this stone, which is kind of counterintuitive. Because I don't know what I get out of this. Like, if it's here, I could fight another ko like this. Or if he connects, then I don't really know if I've gained a whole lot. At least that's just me. So I didn't really like that variation. So I tried to just start a bigger fight on the right side like this. And then the problem was B was like the first move. This one was the first move that kind of came to mind, but it didn't look like it actually worked. Like, it looked like white would be able to connect. But maybe I just need a better idea of what worked should mean. So if white has to connect on the first line, then it's probably better than the game. So something like this happens where, again, I am... Oh, sorry, I went back a little bit there. Again, I kind of let him in a bit and try and keep some area and make some exchanges and take some stones. But yeah, I think at some point I just start falling apart. Like, I don't know how to capture this stone. And then I start getting into some time trouble in Byoyomi, and I have some issues with the clock, which it's just some sort of confusing way of displaying the Byoyomis that it kind of I think it might say 3, but then once you start beyond me, it says 2, and it says something about a last period that's kind of confusing. Like it's kind of like if you lose this period, you're going to run out of time or something. So there was some kind of confusion. So we had to stop the clock somewhere around here to basically ask a referee, did I run out of time? Do I still have one more period? How does it work? So that doesn't help when I'm already kind of in a tough spot. But yeah, no, I couldn't. Basically, at some point the moves I don't remember, but I remember the final position. So it looked something like this up to the dame, basically. So yeah, I didn't even really get anything trying to attack on the left side. He kind of got in a good bit into the center, made it really small. And really I just kind of lived with part of my wall on the left. And so, yeah, I mean, I got some corners, but they're just too small. So yeah, unfortunate, but it was an interesting game. So yeah, that was the first game. So I kind of reviewed it a bit. I'll see if I can improve the game for next time I play this kind of opening. Yeah, so I'll show you the second game then against Portugal now. So so the first game was a 4-down. The second game is interior 4Q. So, but I think we had quite an even game, for most of the game. So I went for a slightly different opening this time, just kind of like a one-space enclosure. And then I kind of saw this being played by, I think, Shibano or Shibano Torimaru or something. So I thought this looks kind of like a fun opening. But then this move I wasn't really sure what to do with it. So I pushed once. And then we had this game reviewed actually by one of the professional players. And I think I may have done the kind of move order slightly wrong. So I think I played A. But maybe I'm supposed to play B first to see how white answers. So if white wants to turn, then I take the 3 stones. And if white wants to extend, then I start pushing along the second line. I think that seems to be the better move order, but I'll try and review this so I can kind of understand. And I think it's kind of to do with the spacing on the side or something. Anyway, I pushed in the game. So I did the other move order. I went like this and then connected, and then he turns in Atari and I take the stones. And I think it's an okay result, but anyway, you'll kind of see how the game goes. So he tries to kind of break the right side a bit. I pincer and then try to make kind of points on both sides in a way, or kind of make some profit from the fighting, attach. And then I think this point it was suggested that maybe he should just cut here if he's going to play the way he is and kind of give up some points on the right side, because at least he gets this kind of move in Sente. So he gets kind of a nice enough shape. Whereas here in the game, he just pushes a few times, and then jumps, and then I get to play on the left side. So I'm not massively happy about this move on the left side, but it's a move. And yeah, so white has these enclosures, and I play here. And then I think the thing is, I'm just not really appreciating how big the center is and the kind of right timing or the right way to reduce it. And I think probably something like a shoulder hit is a good start. So I probably should have done that maybe even earlier. But I played this one, which I think is a little bit too loose because he gets to play here. And then he's kind of threatening to either, break into the bottom a bit or capture the stone on a ladder. So I kind of just let him capture on a ladder with the idea of playing the shoulder hit as a ladder breaker. And then I kind of backed out of just actually saving the stone. So I just kind of didn't really like this variation, where I kind of extend and he gets the extra hane on the one stone. And I have to maybe if I could read better how to attack the group on the right hand side. If I can attack it enough that it erases the center while I'm attacking it, that's probably the way to go. But then there's other variations, he could play these kinds of Ataris and pushes, and then he's starting to surround the center. And I feel like this is a game you'd want to be quite good at counting or invading or reducing or something to play like this. So I wasn't really confident about that. So I answered, which wasn't very good, but and then I kind of break the ladder again, and then I jump into the center with a 2-space. And the idea was, with these kinds of moves, I was thinking about playing E15, but I couldn't see it working right away. Like, I was trying to figure out like what happens if can I actually play here, but this sort of thing doesn't work unless I'm planning on cutting through and hanning and doing something. So I was thinking about some kind of variations like that, but I decided to jump into the center first, and I think it was suggested that white should just play here, but white played this attachment and tried to cut, but then I got to play my move at e15, and now the idea is that it actually sets up this ladder when he tries to cut it. So I'll show you the ladder. So this. So now it looks like he's kind of filled his own liberties when he cut. So so at this point, white saw the ladder and gave up the 2 stones, and then I was kind of happy that yeah, I kind of got I got this really thick shape, the kind of turtle shape in the center, turtle shell shape. So it looks like I'm giving white a lot of points, but I was kind of hoping that I was somewhat ahead. So I tried to take the corner after this exchange. I was trying to see if he'd let me cut through or not, and but yeah, I couldn't really see where I was going to go with this. So maybe he'll just extend, and maybe I should have just done that one time. But anyway, I just went for the corner, and then I think it was kind of suggested that maybe white could even play something like this, because they have such a thick shape in the center that if I keep trying to cut, they run along the side. Maybe there's ideas to either connect under, or maybe to threaten to connect and then live on the side, or trying to break out. So that could have been one way to play. But he invades here, which is also kind of good. But I think it was also suggested to try this move, this Hane, because it looks very annoying to actually handle. So kind of glad that didn't happen. And then I think again he should also Hane here, because if I try to answer on the left side to separate, it looks like this group could be like very close to being alive, which would be a disaster. So so yeah, I might even have to just back off like this or something, and then he can do what he does in the game, which is to try and connect back. But I get this descent, so that keeps a good bit of points. And then yeah, okay, I connect under. I don't know if this is the biggest move, but and then I just try to just make some points like in the center and on the side. And I guess here he kind of regrets this move, because apparently there's a lot of ideas behind this move, either like to pull back the stone or to push in and try to like do something and live in the corner, or so it seems like a very dangerous move, but it didn't occur to me, so I just played simply, played some kind of peeps and attaches just to try to make some shape, and then try to cover parts of the center. I get this Hane and connect, and I think maybe he could have done this throw in and then extend. So then that way, eventually I'm gonna have to capture the 3 stones. So I can't just like connect at an M19 event, like, because eventually P19 will be in Atari. So apparently this might have been a better way to answer. And if you haven't seen it before, this sort of thing, you just run it all the way out to the end, and at whatever point you try to capture this Atari and Atari. So that's the kind of idea behind that Tsuji. But that didn't happen. I got this Hane connect and Sente, and now I don't have to actually capture the 3 stones, so that's kind of nice. I get these kinds of peeps to try and surround the center, and then yeah, just pretty much trying to hold the end game then at this point. So I can kind of just skip through this a little bit. It's not like perfect, it's not great, not necessarily great end game, but I think it basically turns out to be enough, and it's a win by 70.5. So yeah, so that was good. It feels good to at least get one win out of the way, and I think tomorrow is going to be a fairly tough game against a Finnish 5-dan. So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes, and then I'll find out tomorrow again the other pairing for the afternoon. So okay, thanks again for watching.